I do not hit. It hits all by itself.
Anatomy is studied from a book and a cadaver. Neither one of them moves. I want you to think about that for a minute. All the anatomical books that you learn in the university and you study with are all a book and are studied from a cadaver, and neither one of them moves. So here we have, I'll come back to this later, but here we have a tendon, a sheath, and a bone. That's in every anatomy book around the world. And the thinking is that the tendon travels through the sheath like a bullet travels out of a rifle. So you'll know how a bullet travels out of a rifle, and the sheath is the outside and it's connected to the bone and everything like that. I'm going to lump fascia in with tendons. Bone is 30% fascia, and the gooey substance. So let's just talk about fascia for a minute. Neurofascial intelligence. I believe this is the new area of sports for the future. In fact, I think it's the new era for human movement for the future. I personally believe that fascia has an intelligence and a consciousness all of its own, and it can be trained and can be improved. I've just had some very good information that normally we think impulses come from the brain to the nervous system and then to the muscles. Now we know that it goes through the fascia before it goes to the nervous system and then to the muscles. And just yesterday I got it confirmed that the old Tai Chi masters that not only can move people around very lightly but can move them without touching them are using fascia. That was just confirmed to me yesterday. So it is a phenomenal substance and normally takes a very long time to train. What we've been able to do is do some performance hacks where we're actually able to speed it up. I mean, you are learning it in your Dow system right now. So if we look at fascia, this has been known about for a long time. If you've done any kind of body work or in the history of the planet, everyone that's touched someone has touched fascia. If you do any kind of body work, you're working on fascia. We actually haven't seen it live before 2007. So think about that for a minute, okay? We've pretty much seen everyone else. When you used to cut up cadavers to study anatomy, they used to wipe all this gooey stuff and get it out of the way so they could look at the nerves and the muscles. That was actually the fascia. That was the important stuff. Fascia is responsible for between 30 and 50% of your athletic strength. I'm going to say that again. Fascia is responsible between 30 and 50% of your athletic strength. That can be argued by biomechanists all over the world, but I'm not bothered about that. Okay? I believe it has a connection to a higher source, which I'm not going to go there, but I believe it is as a medium of development. I'm working with the MIT Honours Grad in biology, studying how fascia actually is connected to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is the seat of all mysteries and going back a millennia. I'm going to show you a video by Jean-Claude Gimberteau. In 2007 released this to the world. He's an orthopedic surgeon and a cosmetic surgeon out of France, and he developed a camera, a wiping camera or a micro camera that could actually travel around the body while it was live and actually film the fascia in its live state rather than a dead. When things are dead, they're not alive, right? So there's a whole difference between a dead cat and a live cat. You pretty much get that one, right? One's jumping around and one's flat and out there. So as you watch this, there's one computer-generated part in this which is black and white. The rest of it's live footage. And I'm going to read you some of the things that he wrote out of the book. I've been in communication with him. We're having some very interesting chats about stuff at the moment. And as you watch it, I will read this to you, and I want you to think about ancient mythology and ancient teachings. And I want you to think about the bullet travelling down the rifle of the sheath and the tendon. So this is going in from the skin through to the fascia. So he's travelling in with a camera. It's a self-wiping camera. It's micro. Simon was talking about geometrical shapes. It's full of geometrical shapes. In fact, it's full of sacred geometry. So 2007 was the first time we were able to see this. So listen to my words. Well, that's live footage. Actually, it's just a computer generated coming. It is now time to sit reductionism and linear thinking focus aside and allow the other 50% of holism and connected alchemy to come forth. The logical, pragmatic and scientifically based Cartesian mind may be unprepared for what I'm about to read supporting this video. Jean-Claude's masterful work reveals a glossy-like substance surrounding the tendon which we consider collagen fibers. They are disposed in a random fashion with a glossy matter crisscrossing the tendons and incorporating blood vessels. This is not a bullet travelling down a rifle with space between it. We are faced with the concept of global dynamics, with the presence of continuous matter between the tendon and the surrounding tissue. The glossy matter referred to above as loose connective tissue situated between the tendon and the neighbouring anatomical structures, in fact the whole body. Here again we see a multitude of geometrical shapes, multicoloured, operating in non-organised random fashion. Chaotic in direction and speed. Holistic thinking and alchemy is coming to the fore once again. Diversity is immersed everywhere in this matter. It can be wide, it can be narrow, it can be sharp. The edges like knives with translucent surfaces. It can be long, it can be short. It can be swollen or cylindrical. Diversity is endless in the variety of ropes, rigging and harnesses. Chaos and disorder is everywhere and it operates in perfect perfection of movement. If that doesn't align to the deeper teachings of Eastern philosophy, I have no idea what does. So as above, so below. As you see, this is like the riggings on a sail. Every time the wind shifts, it adjusts. It's also totally responsible for speed and direction of movement. Dr. Carlo Stucco of Padua University in Italy, who's an orthopedic surgeon, wrote that the speed and the direction of movement is controlled by the fascia. So he's a Western scientist, a Western medicine scientist now saying, and there's a number of them, that this is the bomb. Okay? If we look at injuries, we spend a lot of time on muscles and nerve strength and the strength and conditioning. It takes 90 days roughly for muscle to recover. It takes 210 for fascia to recover. I'll say that again. It's taken 90 days for muscle tissue to repair and 210 for fascia. Why are we not training the fascial substance at least the same as the muscle structure? Why are we not pre-training it? Most of the injuries that happen cause through the fascia and they cause through people going outside of their normal ranges of motion. Any questions on that? It's pretty cool, eh? It's like a computer generated, right?
Question. You know how muscle, you can damage muscle and it heals and repairs itself.
Yep.
All the stuff I'm hearing, because I've got all kinds of crap going on in my body, fascia related, all the stuff I'm hearing is you can't heal it, you can't fix it.
You
can.
need to talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in what the rest of the world says. I know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're actually getting the results. So there's a lot of research out about working the fascia because it sticks, it's on 3 planes, it gets dehydrated. One of the things that happens when we strike it is we dehydrate it instantly and put it into a false injury. It sends messages through the body. The best results I've had is on people that have had lots of impact. The more injuries you had, the better response I'll get on the fascial bit. Because it actually reignites all the subdued injuries in the body and actually overloads the chemical cocktail in the body. You actually get chemical poisoning instantly from the hip. So there's a lot of things going on with the science, but that will, as we get deeper into that has a consciousness. I probably won't spend the time going into that because it might take too long. But I've had people actually connect with it, with the feelers, touch it and communicate with it. I've got a rehab massage therapist that's been doing it for 50 years. In the last 2 years I've been training him with this, and he's now connected with the fascia, where the fascia will actually come in and touch and communicate with him, and then he'll move it from there with the healing. So there's lots of science with that. Give us a little idea about it, right? So Josie Jones from Irvine University, University of California in Irvine, basically stuck, if you get a torch and if I stick it in your eye here and I flash a light, and you wire up the occipital area of the brain to a machine that registers that impulse. It takes 250,000 milliseconds to send that message through the optic nerve, through the brain, right to the back to the occipital area and go register on the equipment. He then put an acupuncture needle in the eye reflex, put in the foot. Now all the acupuncture meridians supposedly run in the fascia, and it took 7 microseconds to actually get to the same, to register on the machine. So that's the now. So when people talk and they get into meditation, I'm going in the now, that is the now substance of the body. The myofascia is sending information through the body at light speed, at photon speed through the body. Now, if we take time, 250,000 milliseconds, and we stretch that out to the length of a football field, to give you a distance analogy, 7 microseconds is 2.8 mil. That's that. That's how fast the communication is going through the fascia. When we are striking the fascia, we are superseding the nervous system's response. Okay. Phenomenal, huh? Great piece of research.